Good evening, Silverdale families. It's Dr. Howard, and I'm here tonight to read you some more in The World According to Humphrey. This past Friday night, Miss Coward read about Humphrey's adventure, and we found out that Miss Mack was going to be leaving school, and Humphrey was not really sure what was going to happen to him. Tonight I'm going to start reading at the top of page 6. You see, it's really Miss Brisbane's class. But just before school started, her husband was in an accident, so I took over the class. Today, she's coming back for good. Good? I could see nothing good in what Miss Mack was saying. Besides, I want to see the world, Humphrey, she told me. Fine with me. I've thoroughly enjoyed all the world I've seen so far and would go to the ends of the earth with Miss Mack, but she wasn't finished yet. But I can't take you with me. All hope's dashed completely. Besides, the kids need you to teach them responsibility. Miss Brisbane needs you too. Unfortunately, she didn't tell Miss Brisbane that. Miss Brisbane was already in room 26 when we arrived. She smiled at Miss Mack and shook her hand, and then she frowned at me and said, "Is that some kind of rodent?" Miss Mack gave her speech about how much kids can learn from taking care of another species. Miss Brisbane looked horrified and said, "I can't stand rodents. Take it back." The it she was talking about was me. Miss Mack didn't bat an eyelash. She put my cage in its usual place next to the window and said the kids were already very attached to me. She attached Dr. Harvey H. Hammer's Guide to the Care and Feeding of Hamsters to the cage, along with a chart to make sure I was fed and my cage was cleaned on time. "The children know what to do. You won't have to do a thing," Miss Mack said as Miss Brisbane glared at me. Just then my fellow students came streaming into the room, and within half an hour Miss Mack had said goodbye to everyone, including me. "I'll never forget you, Humphrey," she whispered. "Don't you forget me either." "Not likely, but I don't know if I can ever forgive you," I squeaked, and then she was gone without me. Miss Brisbane didn't even come close to my cage until recess, and then she walked over and said, "Mister, you've got to go." But she doesn't know my secret. The latch on my cage door doesn't work. It never has. It's the lock that doesn't lock. So I've got news for Miss Brisbane. If I've got to go, it will be when and where I decide to go, not her. Meanwhile, I'm not turning my back on this woman, not for a second. If I ever disappear and someone finds this notebook, just check out Miss Brisbane, please. Tip 1. Choose your new hamster's home very carefully and make sure it is secure. Hamsters are skilled escape artists, and once out of their cages, they're very difficult to find. Guide to the Care and Feeding of Hamsters by Dr. Harvey H. Hammer. All right, students, turn in tomorrow night with us and see what's going to happen next in our new classroom with Miss Brisbane, and hopefully Humphrey will be happy in his place where he's going to be. Have a good night.